Hello, I'm Serena Khan. Welcome to Quews News Current Affairs Show. A video has been circulating online of a man who was kicked in the head by a police officer at Manchester Airport. The officer was later filmed pepper spraying another man before wrestling him to the ground. A lawyer from the family has stated that the man who was kicked in the head and stamped on by police has been left with a cyst on his brain. Since then, a criminal investigation has been launched, and the police watchdog, the Independent Officer for Police Conduct, said on Friday that the Greater Manchester police officer has been advised he was under criminal investigation for assault. Police said 3 of their officers have been assaulted in the incident, including a female constable who suffered a broken nose, and 4 men were arrested and have all since been put on bail. It remains unclear what actually led to this incident. The officer assaulted the 2 men has been suspended. Greater Manchester Police said it understood the deep concerns that have been widely raised. A former Met Police Chief Officer, Dal Babu, gave his opinion on a very, very serious incident and said racism played a significant role in this incident. I am now joined with my co-host, Kewa Okorodudu. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Serena. Thank you for having me.
Who is going to discuss a little bit about this incident that occurred. So, Kewa, I did want to start off by asking you, do you feel like this incident that took place was police taking their powers way too far and using it to actually abuse civilians?
Yes, I would say they have taken it too far, because from looking at the footage, the victim was on the ground when the police were assaulting, the policeman assaulted that victim that was on the ground. He'd already been tasered. So I believe that the police have taken their actions too far. And I feel that in response to what happened, he should have just been handcuffed, maybe, and cautioned, but not brutally attacked the way he was. Yes, we do need to see it in context. Context is very, very important. But nevertheless, there was no justification for how the police responded by brutally attacking that man on the floor, by stamping and kicking him. There was no justification for it whatsoever. If
And I feel like when it comes to police officers, they are thoroughly trained, from my knowledge, in how to deal with, if the case was that these men did go ahead and attack a police officer, they should be well trained enough to know how to try to stop any further violence from happening if violence was used. And also, I think as well that it's really important to understand that police are here to protect us, and if they aren't going to protect us, then who else will? And if this is what we're seeing online, some people can say that it's a form of racism being used as well, which a former police officer previously mentioned this. As this case has unfolded. Would you say there has been an element of racism within the police force that has been used when this incident took place?
You know something, I wouldn't rule it out, because the responses to what's happened has not really been satisfactory. I wouldn't rule out racism at all. I mean, some people say it's not linked to any racism. Some people would believe it isn't, but I would not rule it out whatsoever, because it was completely uncalled for, the response to how they treated that man. All he needed was to be handcuffed, as I mentioned earlier, and cautioned maybe. And the police have been trained to how to deal with people that assault them and are aggressive to them. So I feel that the police did not approach this matter in the right way. Yes, they do need to show that they are serving and protecting us as a society. But if they are not doing it in the appropriate way, of course it flags up definitely views that it could be linked to racism. Police are not meant to have any sort of bias towards any culture or any race. They're there to serve and protect everybody. There should be no leaning or bias towards anybody. They should be there to protect everybody.
Absolutely, and as we now know that he has been suspended, the police officer. Do you think a suspension is enough? Is it sufficient enough, or do you feel like he should have been dismissed immediately? What's your understanding of that, and what's your opinion on that? Even so,
first things first. I heard a report from an MP. I think his name is Lee Anderson from the Reform Party, who was previously a Tory. He commended one of the police, or he commended the police for what they did. He says they deserve to be commended, and that he's tired of seeing police, or people are tired of seeing police run around with flags and be nice to rioters and running away from rioters. He's glad that this approach was taken, and he believes that the police deserve to be commended. That is completely wrong. That was not the right response to what happened. The police do not deserve any commendation for what they did. It was completely unjustified. Now, in response to your question, should the policeman that was responsible for what happened be suspended or dismissed? Without question, there should definitely be some sort of consequence, definitely be some consequence for what he has done. I believe if it involves a dismissal, that's even better, because this guy that was attacked ended up with a cyst on his brain. A cyst.
absolutely.
So how do you explain that to the family?
Yeah.
If he's suspended, has he learned from what he has done? That's the question. So I don't even know if suspension will be enough, because it can happen again, couldn't it? That's the problem. We don't know that whether suspension will suffice for this situation.
Absolutely. I've seen a lot of people, online talk about how they don't feel like just, his actions being at all justifiable, like you mentioned. And on top of that, I do feel like as well, when you have a power to protect people and you've gone against that code and conduct, you've literally broken so many rules within what you are trained to do, what you are supposed to do. So I feel like a dismissal would have been a lot more sufficient. But again, Greater Manchester Police have said that they are going to investigate it. So we will keep Quews News updated regarding that, our viewers regarding that. Thank you, Kewe Korodudu, for joining us today.
Thank you, Serena, for having me.
We also have another guest with us, Amir Khan, who is not only a surgeon, he is a president, of the Apne Society, which is the UK's largest Pakistani Doctors Association. And I just wanted to welcome him onto our show today. Hello, Amir. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Thanks very much. It's a nice day, so I'm sitting outside. Thanks for taking me on.
Amazing. And being a surgeon yourself, we were told that the gentleman who was attacked had a cyst on the brain. How serious is having a cyst on the brain?
To be honest, it's very difficult to comment on that till you actually see what it means by it. Cyst description can be several things. It could be just a hematoma either outside on the face or skull or inside on the brain. I don't know what the reality is. The problem is that I think, like everyone else, I've seen those videos. I think I'm difficulty in finding the words to describe that type of a force. I don't think you should use under any circumstances. And this is a brutality to a level which we've only seen before. Last time I saw that, when you remember, in America, after which the Black Lives started.
Yeah, George Floyd.
And yeah, we do not expect this type of force in UK. I don't know what the background was of the whole incident, but I think our police should be trained enough to use restraint and not to be brutal like that. And I think that is more, I would say, people are very upset with that, seeing that, We expect police to protect us, not to behave like that. So I think, I don't know the case, whatever in it, I don't know the background. That should be investigated. But I think what we saw on the videos is not acceptable to any society which is civilized, and especially British society, which is a multi-ethnic society.
Absolutely. I agree with what you're saying, especially as somebody who works within the public sector yourself. You undergo so much training on how to treat people, how to be empathetic and all of those things. So for brutal force to be used can be seen as, power being basically abused. Also, I did want to ask a little bit. A former police officer mentioned that he believes it was due to a racist attack. From your personal perspective, would you say that the police brutality that was used on this video was due to racism?
It's difficult to directly comment on it, but the way they were hitting those people, you won't do to a person, you expect that person to be of the same human values as you are. And it is upsetting because to be honest with you, I did not expect that from a British police. And I'd be surprised if they do that to someone who is of a different race. I think I'll only take an advantage by saying one word, that I think this should be investigated very openly and honestly. And I think the perpetrators these people should be punished severely in order for people to restore their confidence back into the police.
Welcome back to Quews News. We have had our guest today, Kewa Okorojuju, as well as Amir Khan, who gave their verdicts on what they thought their opinions were on this incident. Now, as you know, it was a very deep incident for us to speak about today, and we hope that each and every one of you watching does take something away from this. Here at Quews News, we do appreciate you for watching. Thank you for watching our current affairs and news show, and we'll be back next week with some more current affairs and politics. I've been Serena Khan. Thank you very much for watching.